Hi, everybody. My name is Keith Freeze, and I'm just going to get straight to the point with this one. But earlier this season, I kind of got this weird feeling that something about Anze Kopitar's 2-year contract extension didn't exactly feel right to me. Um, and it kind of came to me again yesterday, thinking about it. And I'm not saying this to make, a hot take or I don't have any information. I really don't. It's not even a I don't know what you would even say. There's no basis for what I'm about to say. I just have a true feeling in here that Anze Kopitar could very well likely retire at the end of this season. Now, I've made the prediction that the Kings are going to make it to the Stanley Cup final. Um, but even if they don't get to the Stanley Cup final, but they go on a deep run, like let's say the Kings get to the Western Conference Championship, I still think that Anze Kopitar would retire at the end of this season if that was the case. For me, just speaking directly and openly, I think that the Kings championship window is almost closed. And I think that there's a lot of fans that probably think, we can't hit the reset button. We can't retool. We can't do all these things. We're whatever. And to a certain extent, I do think that that's true. I don't think you can go trading off Quentin Byfield and Brent Clark. And, I would say Alex Laferriere has kind of worked his way into that discussion, but Byfield and Clark for sure. And you can't go giving up those guys because that was part of the last retooling process. So they're going to be the building blocks for your next championship window. That said, I do think that this is the time where the Kings need to push their chips to the center of the table and really go for it. Because whether or not Anze Kopitar retires at the end of this season or next season when his contract ends or if he extends it, whatever. The point is that there was that whole narrative that while you still have Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty, the point was you wanted to win another championship for those guys. So approach this season as though Anze Kopitar is going to retire at the end of the year. Not the year, but the season, whatever. Because the reality is that he very well might. Even if you don't win it all, if you get really close, what's the probability that you get back there next year? This might be the group that actually has a chance to win something. I don't know. There's just something about this team that I feel a little bit more invested in this season than I have in recent seasons where, last year I really thought, or I keep saying last year, whatever. 2023-24, I really thought the Kings on paper had one of the best forward groups that they've ever had in their history. And it wasn't enough. And for whatever reason this season, I don't know what it is, but the whole thing just feels good. The forward group, the goaltending, the defense, coaching, it all feels right now. So with the trade deadline coming up, I hear about these different trades that could be like we're adding this guy or that whatever. And I'm sorry to say, but to me, most of them don't move the needle. Moving the needle to me lets the whole league know that they're being put on notice that you legitimately care about winning a Stanley Cup championship. And that in doing so, in terms of pushing your chips to the center of the table and really swinging for the fences and going big, you believe that you are that close. And you want to let the whole league know that you have a chance. When you go back to 2012, the Kings were a solid defensive team. Like, even their forward group played really good defense. They had outstanding goaltending from Jonathan Quick, and the whole league knew it. But the league also knew we can win games 2-1. It's going to be low scoring games, but we can get that extra goal. But when the Kings got Jeff Carter, the league went, uh-oh, because they knew the Kings were a solid defensive team that could now add that offensive punch. And we've been seeing it lately with the Kings on their own. Like Adrian Kempe and Kevin Fiala have really stepped up in terms of being goal scorers. We know we can get that production from LaFerriere. We know we can get it from Byfield, Kopitar, Turcotte. There's a lot of guys that can really provide offensive output. So it's either everybody steps up that's currently on the team and the Kings don't go looking for anybody, whatever. But if you think that that's enough, then okay. But if you think that you want to give Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty, but for the purposes of this video, if you really want to give Anze Kopitar that one last chance to ride off into the sunset with a championship under his belt, you got to go big. That's how you have to approach this trade deadline. Because some people are saying like, oh, well, it might be, Rob Blake's last year as general manager. My opinion has been publicly known, which is that I don't think he's leaving the organization, but I think he's going to become president of hockey operations. The point being that if it is Rob Blake's last year as general manager, like, what do you have to lose? Like, going big, selling the farm to go big. If the agreement was to try and get Anze Kopitar one more Stanley Cup, you got to do something that's going to really move the needle at the trade deadline. You got to give your guy the best chance to win another Stanley Cup. But regardless, if you win or not, I think that, again, this roster right now, the main foundation of it is the best chance that the Kings have to win something. And for that reason, this may be the last time we get to really appreciate Anze Kopitar. You ever watch The Office? How there's that episode where Michael Scott keeps saying goodbye to everybody, and he lets all of them know, hey, I'm going to be back tomorrow, but in reality, he's not coming back tomorrow. He's actually leaving that day. That's what this is, what I'm talking about. Anze Kopitar has not made it public that he's retiring. Again, I don't have any information. This is just me going off of what I am feeling. But regardless of if he retires or not, you got to do something to fulfill that promise that you made, which is we are trying to get him one more shot to win a championship. You've got to move the needle. You've got to let the whole league know that it is your time to win. So, anyway, I'll leave it there. My name is Keith Freeze. Thank you for checking out this video. Have a great one, everybody, and go Kings go.